last one in particular. Your last game for Munster, Claremont, semi-final of the Heineken Cup. Montpellier, huge Munster support. But just looking at the photograph with yourself and your son Rua, it is almost as if you knew that was the moment, and you know, whatever 16, 17 years with Munster had come down to this.
Yeah, it hits you very quickly though, because I didn't know before the game, and I didn't plan it, but just something inside you goes, I think that's it, you know. I think I've trusted my instincts, and I just kind of knew. Obviously I'd love to have gone to a final, but I didn't get to a final, so I just kind of knew myself that was it, you know. And it's difficult, but it's not too difficult, and it is what it is. And I was very happy because I played with two special teams in Munster and in Ireland, so I wouldn't have changed anything. And I remember Doug Howell reminds me, no regrets. I don't have any regrets. I had the best 15, 16 years of my life, and I'm very grateful for what
I've often heard people like Paul, like Dricko, yourself, you've always said when you were accumulating the honours, the Heineken Cups, Grand Slams with Ireland, you know, when you're in the middle of your career, you've always said, you know, I'll wait, when I retire, I'll reflect and I'll look back and I'll enjoy it. But that was your last game against Claremont. Within 2 weeks, you had signed a coaching role with Racing Metro to go to France. I mean, have you had the time, given that you moved to France in June, to sit back and reflect all your achievements, or does something like tonight sort of bring it all to the fore?
I'm nervous tonight, and I didn't expect to be nervous, but it's hugely humbling, and it's very different for me because rugby's a team game, and I'm up here, and I just can't talk about my teammates enough, because, you know, I think winning medals is very important, but friendships are the most important thing. And you know, I have fellas from Lions tours, my Irish teammates, Leinster teammates, sorry, not teammates, but Leinster colleagues, Dennis and Shane, and I have obviously all the boys from Munster here, and there's the lads that are playing on Saturday too, and I miss them, and it's nice that Serge Betson is here, because you know, it's a sport as well. You know, I came into a great team in Munster, and I learned, and the one thing I learned was about respecting people, and that's what Garland and Claw and Axel and Killian Keane and Dominic Crotty, it's passed down, and it's a special place, but it's hard to explain until you go inside there. And we had fun days and great days, and I think...
We love you, Rog.
I think it's the era I played in, you know, because I see the young fellas today, and it's a different game nowadays, but I just think that, you know, the time when we played rugby was a really great time, because it was, I think, the best of both worlds. We had fun. Nowadays it isn't fun, I don't think. It's very serious.
Yeah. And you did enjoy the fun times.
Yeah, I did, of course. Yeah, we had, it changed, obviously, the more competitive it got, but you know, if you have a bus of Quinny, Wally, Frankie, Hoggy, Jono, myself, all the fellas in Munster squads throughout the years, and then you have the crack with Ireland, where we slip way down to Naas on a Sunday and have a Sunday session. That's what rugby was about, but you could do it back then. So I was involved in two special teams, and it's the players that make them, I think, and obviously the Munster supporters are world renowned, and obviously the Irish supporters are.
Come on, Munster!
Just, you know, you've done a bit of punditry recently with RTE, and going back to the Aviva, standing at the side of the pitch watching the team come out, I mean, how difficult was that, or had you got to come to terms with international retirement?
For the first game in the November internationals, it was strange. I think it was a chain on the sideline, and it is strange, but it's strange for a day, and then life goes on. The game doesn't wait for anybody. I've had my time now, you know, Johnny and Paddy Jackson and Madigan are living the dream, you know, so that's what I was lucky enough to do for so long, and it's their turn now, and that's the way it goes in a cycle. And suppose the thing that I enjoyed most was playing for as long as I did with great players and great people.
And just the quote that Minister Phil Hogan, that interview that Paul O'Connell gave last weekend, you know, I think that there's one line in that is worth repeating again. You know, it's probably an admirable quality of his, but his self-belief never wavered. If we lost, he wouldn't question himself. He was absolutely unbreakable. That self-belief, where did it come from?
I think you're shaped by your environment, and you know, like there's a lot of older fellas in this room that I cost the European Cup medal to, so like that's the other side of it. You know, Michael Jordan, I think, has missed over 5,000 shots in basketball. I've missed plenty of kicks, but that happens. You're not going to kick 100% every time. So, but as a young fella, you either learn the lessons, or and I can remember Keith Wood saying it to you, else you brush it under the carpet and these things come back to bite you unless your technique is bulletproof, semi-final or final. So that's what I took on board from it, and I suppose you just become experienced and hopefully get into good positions. But Philly doesn't get out often from Boston. I think Philly, calm down, the jet lag is kicking in, is it?
Come on, Rod!
And just life as a coach, how difficult has it been? What sort of pressures has it imposed? I mean, I know you were captured on the sideline, and Canal Plus, some very educated coaching advice from the sideline. Allez, Anton, that's the fucking stuff.
What do I say to that? You just get to, I don't know, I think when you cross the line and you get into match mode, you become competitive, and it's frustrating racing Metro time, because I think the Irish pros are different pros. In France it's a career maybe, but in Ireland it's a passion, and that's probably the big difference. But it was nice to see some fellas showing a bit of aggression and getting stuck in. So I think ever since Johnny came on the Irish team, I seem to have cameras following around me everywhere I go. So now there's sound cameras as well. So.
And the punditry, I mean, you've now experienced 2 afternoons in a studio with George Hook.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
You even managed to suppress your chuckles 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, well, I just hope he stays in for another 10 years, because it makes me look good. So.
So you're enjoying that side of it.
Is that?
Did you enjoy that side of it?
Yeah, you couldn't not. I think it's just too easy.
Just, I know a few words, you know, a few thanks that you want to give, but just before we wrap up, your testimonial in Cork was a fantastic night. It was always going to be a case that the people of Cork, and indeed Munster, would come out and support that event in the City Hall. But this is London. I mean, it's a different world. The response here, 250 people on a waiting list tonight. I have to say, there was an 11:50 flight from Cork to London this morning. If it went down over the Tusker Rock, I reckon there'd be no business done in Cork for about 10 years. So there is a sprinkling from home, but the response, I mean, you must be humbled really by the night and the response of people. But again, no more than you reserve.
Yeah, but no, I wouldn't say that. I've been lucky enough to be, I think, surrounded by good people, and from good people you get good advice, and obviously I have a fantastic family, a fantastic wife, who make me happy off the pitch, and I refer to my teammates again. They make me happy on the pitch, but you know, I've come across some really good people for advice, and you know, the chairman tonight, Michael O'Flynn, is a very good friend of mine, and I think once you have him on your team, I think he's I suppose guided me very sensibly, and the team he builds around him just makes these things happen. And I think even for people in London tonight, they said that it's ran really smoothly, and it's been one of the best dinners they've been at, so all credit goes to him and his committee, because I arrive in on the Eurostar today at 3 o'clock and go up to my suite and drink champagne, so it's...
All right!
Tough ride. Okay, Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. It's been a fantastic experience, I know, for all of us here tonight. And the one man responsible for bringing us all together. Please show your appreciation for Ronan O'Gara.